Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. Today, we are testing out Shadow Skarmory in the Go Battle League. We know Skarmory is one of the new strongest picks ever since the Steel Wing update this season. How does the Shadow counterpart do? Of course, we know Shadows do a little bit more damage. They take a little bit more damage. They're glassier. And I've always been a proponent of when a Pokemon is bulky, you want to lean towards the normal variant to utilize that bulk. When a Pokemon's more glassy, you want to utilize the Shadow variant for more attack. And that doesn't always hold true as we start this thing out. And I mean, we're using the regular Dragonair, and we don't have a good option here. And you know what? I actually kind of want to slow this down just for a moment. This was a battle I wanted to break down a little bit. As we lead Dragonair into Sableye, our opponent makes a beautiful catch, you're going to see, onto the Jellicent. Now, we don't have an obvious answer to the Jellicent, and something I see a lot from people when I do coaching sessions and stuff is they feel like their opponent swapped, so they have to swap as well. You don't always necessarily have to do that, and one reason I decided to stay in for so long is because the Dragon Breath damage I can deal on my Dragonair is some of the most valuable damage I can get, and I can save this energy for later. Now, not having a good answer, I decide to come in with Tentacruel here, basically just as a sponge to soak up the damage. And one kind of thought process as I get off this Scald on charge attack priority is if he's got two ghosts, he's double weak to dark, so I guess theoretically it could have been like a fairy in the back, but I was thinking it might be like a steel in the back. And Skarmory, I don't know, just seems like a bit of a safer choice. It ends up being a Frostlass, so a pretty weird team, a triple ghost team. As we throw the Aqua Tail, we swap into Steel Wing Skarmory. Look at these Steel Wings shredding through the Frostlass. Does not want to take these Steel Wings. We are actually going to call the Avalanche and go for the full farm down. Now we have lots of energy to threaten what comes in. Does Jellicent come back? It does. We're going to do one and throw our Sky Attack for proper timing. Opponent kind of has to use their last shield, and they don't for some reason. They put it all on Sableye. They actually commit to fast moves, which is kind of smart. But the Dragon Breath damage is going to outpace the Shadow Claw damage, and that is a G to the G. Next battle, let's see. That was kind of a crazy one to start things off. A really weird team. You're probably not going to see a triple ghost team. I don't know if they were trying to, if Caspian Pike, that was Caspian Pike. I don't know if he was trying to have some fun, maybe put his own YouTube video up. Ace Trainer 1993. This is exactly where we want to see the Lantern. So this is a really good lead for us, not just because it's a positive matchup for Dragonair, but because our backline is avoiding this. I accidentally throw on charge attack priority. Don't necessarily want to do that, but mistakes were made. Ends up being fine. We're just going to absorb this. They throw the Thunderbolt, makes sense. They swap into Vig. I don't have an obvious answer, so I kind of hesitate, and I throw my Body Slam first, and then I'm going to come in with Tentacruel. Not necessarily like that was the right play. In hindsight, I think I'm better off just going straight Tentacruel, because you see how much these jabs add up. If I just go straight Tentacruel, the jabs really add up, and it's probably approaches Scald range anyway. So honestly, that Body Slam I threw was kind of unnecessary. As we get off the Scald here, we're going to get the Attack Fell, which is pretty nice. I think we would live a Body Slam anyway, so it doesn't really impact this scenario too much. But it forces Vig to throw again, and I want to maintain alignment. I want to maintain my D-Nair aligned with that Lantern, and I mess up. I should have thrown Acid Spray earlier to not have to utilize this shield, but I make a mistake. In comes Lantern, gonna Scald it here. A debuff would be really nice for us. A debuff would be really nice, so then a move wouldn't really KO our D-Nair. And there is a Gligar in the back and they top left. So that was a game. As long as we maintained alignment, it should have been smooth sailing. The only problem with that is Vigoroth, we didn't have like a super hard check to. We had a soft check with Squidward, but didn't have a hard check to. So opponent danced around probably as well as they could have. And yes, we do have Tentacruel titled as Squidward. That's what I like to call him. Squillium. Squillium tentacles. He looks more like he looks more like a Squidward than a Squillium, though, I'd have to say. Tentacle looks kind of angry all the time. Here we're playing J Mills, terrific battler. Queue up against him every so often. Gonna elect to eat the Psycho Boost. One reason, I'm sure there's already been some comments, Rise, why regular Dragonair and not Shadow Dragonair? Well, I decided regular for this team just because Shadow Skarm is kind of glassy. And I felt like with a Shadow Dinair lead, maybe it could be a little bit too frail because I kind of want to save shields for Skarmory in the back. So by going for the non-Shadow, at least I can preserve some health, maybe eat a move in the lead on my Dragonair. This matchup looks a little bit rough because we're not able to retain Swap, and we're down a shield, but we do have energy, so maybe we can get something back here. What's going to come in? Charizard comes in. So this looks pretty bad, but at least we're up so much energy that we're able to grab a shield here. And you're going to see me make a nice catch onto the Tentacruel to absorb this likely Blast Burn. Blast Burn comes through, still does a heck of a lot of damage, dude. Does so much damage. And here I make a critical misplay, you're going to see. Like a critical misplay. I thought I had the Scald for some reason, and I don't throw the Acid Spray. If I throw the Acid Spray, I put this Charizard into farm down range, or I don't need to throw my energy there. And I probably end up reaching double Sky Attack here against Deoxys defense. At this point, he's got double Psycho Boost, so I'm just going to let this go and concede. But, yeah, tough one. Tough one. If I had just thrown that Acid Spray, I think I win for sure, because I think either J-Mills is forced to shield, or if he doesn't shield, he's not going to get to another move on Charizard, and we would have won the game. So, tough misplay there from me, but it happens. Got to try and regroup and not make a misplay in the next game. Stone Collection, amazing battler from Germany. We've got the Dragonair mirror match here. And I've got pretty solid IVs on my Dragonair, so it looks like our Dragon Breath damage is actually slightly outpacing his Dragon Breath damage. I figure with Shadow Dragonair leads, oftentimes switch advantage is important, so I do invest a shield, and I believe Stone Collection is just going to let it go, take the shield advantage. I swap, and this is a huge play. I swap to not just let myself get farmed down and to actually save the Dragonair for later, and by luring out this Lantern, I'm going to be able to do a lot of fast move damage here with Tentacruel. And we're just spamming, dude. We're just spamming the the Acid Spray, the toxic fast move damage. We get a shield because we built up to the Scald. And he's going to be forced to throw energy here before farming us down. And I am not going to wait up my switch timer. I am just going to come in with Dinair right away. Uh-oh, looks a little... Sorry about that little screen stutter, but we just come in right away. We farm it down, and we're going to throw a Body Slam here. And if this lands, that's good. If it doesn't land, I think either way it would have been nice, because if it got the shield, we can just Brave Bird. And since it didn't get the shield, it's actually a little bit scuffed here, because there's really no point in me throwing energy unless I get to double Sky Attack. So you actually see me commit really early to the straight fast moves here. And once again, apologies for the little bit of flickering you're going to see. It's been an issue I've been having with my screen recording device. But look, I just commit completely to fast moves at this point, never throw my energy, and that ends up being a win con. Would it have flipped the outcome if I threw those Sky Attacks? It would have given him 2 more licks than he would have gotten. Also would have been 1 less Steel Wing worth of damage. So it very well may have been the difference there. Can't guarantee it. I don't know that for a fact, but I think it's very possible it might have made the difference if I had elected to throw my charge moves there rather than committing to fast moves. 27-28 as we start to climb. I've had a couple nice days in the Go Battle League. We'll skip ahead a little bit. SS Thorn hard counters me like every time I play him. Okay, here we go. Dragonair versus Dragonite. The family friends. In comes Greedent. I catch the Body Slam onto my Skarmory after inflicting some damage. The kind of awkward thing here is green is so spammy. Like, double crunch might nearly knock us out from this range. Also, I have really no idea what's in the back. Probably something to answer like fairy or ice. So it could be like a counter user. That'd probably be most ideal. He lives the move and gets off his own crunch. I elect to let it go, and I actually hang on. So that's pretty nice. And we give Lantern a very minimal farm. So that's huge. Now, he comes in D-Knight. Kind of an awkward situation. I was debating, do I just swap right away or do I throw my energy first? I'd like to throw my energy first since I have so much. Also give myself a 0-turn swap. And at this point, we're just going to commit. We're going to Acid Spray, of course, but then after that, we're just going to commit to fast moves. I shield up the Thunderbolt, which is big because it forces him to use more energy and will take him longer to get to the next one while he's taking Poison Jab damage. Poison Jabs coming through, and SS Thorn actually top lefts because he feels like once he knocks out my Tentacruel, he'll be too low, where the Dragon Breaths would knock out anyway. So GG there. GG there. On to the next one. Don't recognize this player's IGN, but they're killing it. Expert. So many talented battlers out there these days. People that aren't maybe as well known in the community, but are killing it on the GBL leaderboards. We've got the neutral lead here. I elect to swap and to lure out the potential Lantern, which is if you guys decide to run this team, it is an ABB style where you do kind of want to lure out the potential Lantern with Tentacruel. Tentacruel is a little bit of a safer swap, in my opinion, than Skarmory. Skarmory gets really walled by Lantern versus Tentacruel can at least, as we've seen in like 2 shield scenarios, make it uncomfortable. Kind of an awkward spot here. I elect to take the Thunderbolt for the full farm down. Throw Body Slam right away on what looks like it might have been a charge move priority. And then I have a decision to make, like, do I shield or do I let it go? I think I decide to let it go because I'm thinking if there's a Lantern that's already been taken out, unlikely the last Pokemon is good against Skarm. And that is the correct call. It was a Gligar. But here's the thing. You're going to see this matchup is not as dominant as you'd think. We can hit for neutral damage. He can only hit for resisted damage. And yet, we're going to start to see the damage start to add up from this opposing Gligar. I'm debating where I want to shield. I'm like, does Medi get to a move? Maybe I need to save a shield for Medi. So I take the dig. You see how low the dig puts us. We're starting to approach Aerial Ace range after some wing attacks here. And now I kind of have to shield. Waiting for that Medi to potentially swap in. And just going to throw my Sky Attack on charge move priority. It's going to knock out the Medi, of course. And now it's going to be a fast move off. Can Steel Wings outpace the wing attacks? And they can. 2 Steel Wings KOs. 2 wing attacks do not. So a pretty crazy game there. And Shadow Gligar making it really uncomfortable for us in that endgame. Yeah. Pretty crazy one there. Starting to get some cute times. And, oh, I got a little impatient again. Next battle. Looney? Maybe that's how they prefer to say it. Whiscash lead. I like seeing Whiscash in the lead because this is probably my best answer for it. Tentacruel avoids it, which is great for us. Whiscash is going to outpace us to the Mud Bombs. So not like the best matchup in the world for Dinair, but if we're willing to invest a shield, I would think Dinair probably wins this matchup. In comes Toxapex. I kind of just instant swap into Skarm. Not sure if this was really the right decision per se. Maybe I could have like chipped first and then gone with Squidward since we both just resist each other's moves. I heavily resist the poison damage, but I'm dealing resisted Steel Wing damage, so it's a pretty even matchup, I would say here. Gonna overfarm quite a bit. Take another Brine on the chin. And I'm probably going to go for Brave Bird eventually. And that looked like it was actually CMP. So that's perfect. That's perfect if it's CMP, because even though they shield it, we can let this go. This Toxapex is going to have no energy, and we can go for a massive farm down with our Tentacles. A little bit of a bold farm down. So I actually don't know if I get the full farm down here. But we resist everything. Toxapex very bulky, so it's not going to deal that much damage to us. Sludge Wave still does chunk a bit. At this stage, it looks like he's probably going to reach another move if I commit to the full farm. So I do go for an Acid Spray. And then the next jab KOs. Expecting Whiscash to come in. And I have a Scald ready for the Whiscash. So now I'm wondering if he decides to shield or not. Scald comes through, grabs the final shield. We swap. He swaps, and there is a Talonflame in the back. There is a Talonflame in the back. And for some reason, he doesn't throw his energy. He could have got a shield from me, but he doesn't throw energy, which allows me to Aqua Tail and then KO with the next Dragon Breath. And now this is pretty much GG's from here. I guess maybe he was concerned if he threw energy, I would just like let it go, jab down, come out with a Scald. Maybe that's what he was worried about. But yeah, G to the G there. This team doing pretty well. I think this was potentially a recommended team. I don't know if actually, I think someone just recommended I use Tentacruel, and I kind of wanted to do Shadow Skarmory, and I put these three together. So a little bit of a combo effort with my chat on Twitch. If you guys want to hang out with me live, stream almost every day. Usually most weekdays I stream. I'd say like 4 to 5 days a week on average. And yeah, if you guys want to interact with me live, we have a lot of fun over there. We see the neutral lead. They swap Vig. I go in with Squidward. And we don't necessarily need to win Switch here because it was a Whiscash lead, right? So at least both of our back Pokemon have play. But my concern is if we lose Switch, like if he's got a Whiscash lead, he might have a good check to like drag it in the back. Like an Altaria check. Body Slam is going to knock us out. So opponent's able to flip Switch. Arguably should have farmed down with Skarm to not have to take a Body Slam here, or maybe have thrown my charge move. So bit of a questionable decision by me there. In comes opposing Skarm. And suddenly this is kind of awkward. We're going to chip with Aqua Tail. Oh, actually throw another Aqua Tail. Interesting. To maybe make it more manageable for my Skarm. Because if I just swap out when it's that healthy, like that's a lot of health for my Skarm to try and deal with. I'm going to throw Sky Attack here. I figure from a Shadow Skarm, double Sky Attack is all I really need. And of course, I can't really debuff myself this early. I feel like that would kind of just be throwing the game away no matter what. Even if it connected, like he probably lives, gets off a move, and I'm debuffed against his Skarm. So I'm going to go for a Sky Attack here. This will probably draw the final shield from the opponent. We're Steel Winging away. Another move coming from Whiscash. Now, Whiscash outpaces Skarmory. So what you're going to see here is me trying to get to the switch as soon as I can. And it works out perfectly where we're able to catch the Scald onto our D-Nair. Now we keep the energy. I'm just going to throw after a few Steel Wings till I feel like it's definitely within Brave Bird range. And Brave Bird, boom, from a Shadow Skarm. Going to knock out the opposing Skarm. And we Steel Wing down the water ground type in Whiscash. G to the G. Shadow Skarm putting on a clinic. Showing he can get the job done. Last battle of the video, I believe. Can we hit expert rank with this battle right here? Rocking the cowboy hat. Look at my Delibird gloves like going through the cowboy hat. They should probably fix that. I wonder if I've gotten comments before like Raj, you need to tell Niantic, like, bro, I don't have any connections with anybody. But I am like friendly with some people when I see them in person, at least. But yeah, maybe they could work on that animation. We see another Whiscash lead. Lots of Whiscash leads. I feel like depending on the day, I see a lot of the same leads. Like not necessarily over a course of 3 days, but like one day I might see a ton of Whiscash leads. One day I might see a ton of D-Nair leads. I feel like it changes. The meta changes with the day. We're going to just let our Dinair Go here. I was kind of hoping he would Psycho Boost, but obviously that wouldn't make a lot of sense for him. This situation looks kind of rough. I think I've kind of misplayed this already because this is an uncomfortable amount of health on DD. He actually Rock Slide baits me, kind of savage. I go for a potential catch on my Skarm. He doesn't fall for it. So we keep that energy on our Tentacruel. We come in with Skarm. We're going to have to eat a move. I'm assuming Whiscash will come in, and the brutal thing here is with all the damage we took from the DD, now we're basically in Scald range. So this is looking pretty rough. We do grab a shield at least. Really don't know what to do at this point. I feel like I kind of have to let it go, because if I shield, I might just get outpaced anyway. So I keep a shield for Squidward. Gonna go for the Scald here. Scald comes through. Doesn't quite do enough to knock out. Debating whether I want to use my shield. I decided to shield. Like, is the last Pokemon gonna have something that is more than Mud Bomb? And it's a Skarm. So I'm gonna top left here in this last one, because double Scald doesn't KO a Skarm. He still had a shield to hide behind. That game was over. But that is a nice couple of sets from this team. Was that a 4-1 set from 27-28, so definitely hit expert rank after that set. Currently sitting at like 28-84, I think, which is decently high on the leaderboard. Had some nice teams the past couple days, and I got some more videos coming for you guys showcasing the teams that I used the past couple days to help me climb in the Go Battle League. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.